Hey guys, Disallow Magic here with an insane new deck. Once again, I thought, oh, this'll work really well, and then when I actually played it, I thought, this is absolute hell on earth. There is not a human smart enough to run this damn deck. No, just kidding. If you played about 50 games with this, you would have it down enough that you'd probably only miss about 3 triggers in a game. No, seriously, this is a hard deck to operate. Also, one thing I have to say before I even get started on explaining what's in this deck, this will make 0 sense. No sense whatsoever unless you watch gameplay of it. And for some reason, nobody ever watches the gameplay videos. I'll make like a 5-minute match, like whatever. I mean, just watch it. Trust me. Trust me. So anyway, this is called, what the hell did I call it? Hold on. I didn't write it down anywhere. I need to get more sleep. I haven't been sleeping lately because that doesn't leave time for work. Monumental discount. That's what it's called. I'm not doing 2 takes. 2 takes are for chumps. Let's just power through it. So, it's got the monuments, Kefnets and Ronuses. Now, you know there's 5, and actually the first version of this, if you follow me on Twitter, you know it was called Monumental Rainbow Meltdown or something, or Rainbow Nuke Bomb or some dumb thing like that. I mean, it kind of worked. And then I thought, most of these cards are 2 colors. Let's just trim it down, because having them match up with, I think it was actually 4 color, not 5, it was insane. It was not going to happen. But I will also say I'm totally building a white-black version of this because BFZ. If you want to build the most broken deck, take the block that wasn't supposed to be legal when they designed this. I mean, that's real. So anyway, Spire of Industry. I mean, you got to pay a life. It's mana confluence, basically, and you have to have an artifact out. But you will, and if you don't, who cares? You're probably using this to pay for an artifact. It's just good. Now, this land base, you can kind of mess with it. Honestly, as you can see, there's literally 1 island and forest. Whoops. So yeah, I mean, if you don't want to pay for Aether Hubs, just throw in 1 more island and forest. I don't think you're going to get color screwed. In fact, you probably just should throw them in, because, I mean, Aether Hub only works once. And then you got your Botanical Sanctum. I mean, it taps for 2. It's, what I don't even remember what these damn things do. I gotta read this. Oh, 2 or fewer. So it's the early lands, the Scars lands. Those are nice. I mean, they're gonna come out late game and screw you over, but then you got your Lumbering Falls. That comes in tapped regardless, and honestly, you will almost never use this. If you just want to replace those with 2 islands and 2 forests, you will lose almost nothing. I mean, it's just, hey, it's a man land and it's about $2. Who cares? Then you got your Woodland Stream. They just straight up come in tapped, but I mean, you can't drop the Lumbering and the Woodland and the Aether Hub and just replace it with half islands and half forest. That will not work. So even though these are a little bit slow, the whole deck's a little bit slow, so it's not a big deal if these come in tapped. Then 1 island, 1 forest, and 2 Westvale Abbeys. Oh yes, you're gonna see why I threw those in. It's the last card to be thrown in. They're very important, but I wouldn't really run 4 of them. They're just nice when they come out. You might have to go to 3, though. That's the thing. It's just you really need colors, because these reduce the cost of these blue and green creatures, but only the colorless portion. So look at this. I mean, everything you need to tap for cannot be colorless. It won't work, except with 1 exception. So you got your Beast Color Savant. He's cool because, you know, he can only be used to summon creatures. With this, this is almost a pure creature deck. Well, almost. And he has haste. He can tap for any color. That's huge. Then you got your Channeler, which can also tap for any color. So there's your ramp, and that's the reason that there's only 22 lands. 22 lands is like, okay, I don't want to get stuck with 1 in my opening hand. This deck really should have about 24, but then these kind of count, but you have to get them out on the field, and they cost 2. Then we got Contingency Plan, because you cannot have this deck stall out, and you need to line up combos. Every combo has to do with what's on the very top card of your deck, and then what's under that. So you really need Contingency Plan, and like Anticipate isn't good enough to go in its place. Then we got 2 Nissas, so I know, not exactly a budget deck, but I believe this whole deck costs right around 60 to 70 bucks. So it's not crazy, and a lot of these cards are super ancient. So you might already have Lumbering Falls and Beast Collars, I'll say. And honestly, Channelers aren't that expensive today either. These are like worthless. So Ronus's Monument, green creatures cost 1 less to cast. And then whenever a creature, not just a green one, but any creature at all, gets cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, whether it's successful or not, target creature you control gains +2/+2 and trample till end of turn. That's by itself a game winner. Then we've got Kefnets, which this one's annoying because it's really underpowered, but blue creatures cost 1 less, and if it's both, it qualifies both. All these are legendary, but you really do need 4. I would put 5 of each if I could. But I don't play at my old LGS anymore. That's what they do there. Whenever you cast a creature spell, target creature an opponent controls doesn't untap. Unfortunately, then it kind of has to be tapped in the first place. Otherwise, what's the point? So, not very good at all, but the funny thing is you are going to, after about turn 5, cast a creature every single turn. So if they swing with one really detrimental creature, they are going to remain tapped for the entire rest of the game. So don't underestimate it. Next up, we got Disallow. Now, if you're like, oh my god, price tag. Actually, I think since I already had these, I probably just put it above $100, but this could just as well be cancel. If you know what everybody else is playing and you think you can get away with Essence Scatter or Negate, go for it. You can sideboard swap them too, by the way. The higher the mana cost on this particular spell, the better, and you'll see why that is in the gameplay. Summary Dismissal or that other one. It's a 4 cost. They both cost 4. The other one, it'll clone a spell, redirect a spell, or counter a spell. It's from like Eighth Revolt or something, Kaladesh, I don't know. I forgot what it's called, but that might actually be a better choice than Disallow. I just really like Disallow. If Disallow were to cost 4, it would greatly benefit the deck. And that sounds completely like the dumbest thing ever, but it's true. Trust me. You'll see in the gameplay why that's true. So don't feel bad about not putting in Disallows. Then we got Vizier the Menagerie, one of the most important cards in the deck. So not only does he let you spend mana as if it were any color, including colorless, to cast creature spells. So boom, solved. You may look at the top card of your library whenever you want. Now you don't have to reveal it, you don't have to flip it up, you actually should not show it to your opponent. But yeah, you also don't have to. You may cast the top card of your library if it's a creature card. So, contingency plan. You sit there and just stack up creature spells, and this deck is one of those, oh look, I have 15 mana kind of decks. You can just cast, like, the whole top of your deck. I mean, you get all these enter the battlefield triggers, that's, like, part of the win condition. Now, this whole deck is an altered ego deck. That is the point of this. If there's one thing I learned from .hack, the video games on the PlayStation 2, I'd say I'm old, but honestly, I still have one. I think it was like 3 years ago that I picked up the series. So, anyway, if you want to beat someone, just clone them, but make it 9 levels higher. And if you just got that reference and you played the .hack games, you are awesome. It's like the shadow copy of yourself that you have to fight. He's hiding in one of the random maps that you have to like find the address for or the keywords, and then you have to fight him. And those battles are almost impossible because he has your stats, your weapons, but he's 9 levels higher. So it is almost impossible to kill him. So here we go, Altered Ego. I mean, this is such an underappreciated card. I've only seen somebody play this once. Now, here's the thing. You're going to cast it if you have both monuments out for 2 and then X. Now, just imagine X is like 2. Okay, Altered Ego can't be countered, first of all. That's insane. That is so rare these days. Second, you may have Altered Ego enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it enters with an additional X11 counters on it. Holy crap. So if you cast it for 4, you've got a Gisela, but it's a 6/5. I mean, if they don't have anything good on the battlefield, you're going to win anyway, and still clone one of their creatures. It would be funny. Or, make another copy of Vizier, make another copy of Beast Caller, but make him like a 7/8 or, just something insane like that or whatever. There's not really a whole lot in this deck worth cloning. I mean, Vizier is a 3/4 non-legendary, so if you were to even cast it for like 2x, not bad at all. I mean, that's a 5/6 for 4 mana. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Commonly, you'll be casting this for about 8. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of mana in this deck, and I didn't even put Cryptolith in. This is just the funniest damn thing. I love it. And it works with Rashmi. Rashmi and Vizier together with Contingency Plan is just disgusting, and then Nissa's even worse. Did I totally just skip over Nissa? Okay, we'll come back to her. Rashmi Eternity's Crafter. Everybody was all excited about her, but nobody found anything to do with her. Well, reduce her to a 2-cost, throw her out, and then use her ability. So whenever you cast your first spell each turn, your turn and your opponent's turn. That's why disallow. It would be really funny if it costs 4. Anyway, reveal the top card of your library, which you probably already know what it is at this point between all the different ways to do that. If it's a non-land card with converted mana cost less than that spell, the first spell that you cast, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Now, from what I've seen, that means immediately. So it could be their turn, they cast a spell, you cast Summary Dismissal, it costs 4, flip up the card from your library, oh look, it's a 3 cost, which, I mean, yeah, almost everything in this deck is a 3 cost. You would drop it straight onto the battlefield, even if you wouldn't normally be able to cast it at that point, I think. I'm not 100% sure, I haven't played that many games with this. And then it says, if you don't or can't cast the revealed card, put it into your hand. So every time you cast a spell, on your turn or their turn, you immediately draw a card to replace it. She is crazy. I mean, you can see why everybody was like, oh my god, I need to find something to do with Rashmi. Well, now, I mean, you got Rashmi, you got Bestiary, you got Soul, you got Vizier, you got like 2 more that let you draw crap every time you cast a creature, and then you got a bunch of death triggers. I mean, this is crazy. The problem is it would be black, green, blue, so I built this instead. Feel free to build that deck, though. So let's go back to Nissa, because I'm pretty sure I skipped her. She's the X one. She's pretty good. She's not that expensive. I think she's probably like $12 right now. So she's not that necessary to the deck. I mean, you could just put in 2 more counter spells. That would actually be pretty funny and pretty good. Or, I don't know, 2 more creatures. I forgot what I actually rejected from this deck. I think it was like the druid. No, that druid costs 3. It was the werewolf. The werewolf that you can flip. That's a 2-cost defender that taps for green. I would put that in Nissa's place if you wanted to go turbo cheap. And plus, that's a late game win condition because it flips to be like a 6/5 or something. So she has +2 scry 2, but first of all, she comes up with loyalty equal to X. So half the time you're bringing her out for like 8 loyalty, and you could just ultimate her instantly and win. So you could just top deck her, win, done. If you don't do that, even if you brought her out for like 1, you could just sit there and scry 2 her. So that's nice because it fixes your next turn, it stacks the deck, it helps put away a card that you can already see because of Vizier. I mean, it's just nice. So that's cool, but then her +0 is look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card or creature card, which in this deck is almost every damn card, if its mana cost is less than or equal to the number of loyalty counters on Nissa, then you can put it directly onto the battlefield. So you wouldn't be considered to be casting it for all the cast triggers, but still, this deck just dumps crap onto the battlefield. It is so broken. Then her -6, untap up to 2 target lands you control, which is really nice. You probably already spent the mana on another channeler or something. They become 5/5 elemental creatures with flying for some reason and haste until the end of turn. They're still lands. So swing for 10 in the air. Very nice. Let's see. You can't clone them with Altered Ego. Also, by the way, for the record, you cannot clone Gideon. You could, but it won't work. He would immediately turn into a planeswalker, have 0 loyalty, and die. Apparently that's what the ruling is. That sounds like a load of crap to me, but I don't know. I would just make him permanently a 5/5 indestructible Gideon clone, but that's not how that works, apparently. So, whatever. So, yeah, I like her ultimate. It's pretty good. And then Westvale, in case you don't know what it does. Taps for colorless. That sucks. Pay 1 life, put out a 1/1 black human. That's cool. Also it costs 5. Otherwise, you can sack 5 creatures, transform it, and untap it. It's a 9/7 flying lifelink indestructible demon. So in other words, you won the game. And you're going to have just mountains of crap on the battlefield, even without the white monument, which I considered putting in, but it just didn't fit. This is a little bit too creature short already. I know that sounds crazy. If you are getting stomped by removal, you could take out Contingency Plan and just put in like that 1/1 Death Toucher for 1, the Delirium one. Those are pretty good, the Gnarlwood, whatever. So this deck is pretty damn crazy, I gotta say. The sideboard, I would just put in a bunch of counter spells and swap them for disallow or whatever. You know, just if they're blowing up your crap, put in like turn aside, maybe dispel, negate, essence scatter, whatever. Just cheapen it out. Otherwise, if you want to keep the cost artificially up so that you can cast stuff on their turn, go for it. So definitely watch the gameplay or this deck's not going to make a damn ounce of sense because the triggers are just mind-blowing. So I will see you guys next video.